Okay, so let's talk about something we all do every single day, moving money. But what if I told you that every time you do, you're tapping into one of two completely different hidden worlds of banking? This is a tale of two payments, and honestly, once you see it, you'll never look at your bank account the same way again. So, picture this. You tap your card to buy a coffee. It feels instant, doesn't it? Like magic. A little beep and you're good to go. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Well, that simple tap kicks off this incredible chain reaction, a reaction that ripples through two totally separate financial universes. Let's pull back the curtain and see what that hidden machinery is all about. The best way to think about a bank's payment function is to imagine it as the circulatory system of the entire economy. Seriously, it's this vital network that's constantly pumping money, the economy's lifeblood, to every single part of the system. It's what keeps everything moving, from you buying that coffee to massive international trade deals. But here's where it gets really interesting. That circulatory system, it's not just one big network. It actually has two completely different sets of arteries running side by side. The banking world has literally built two parallel universes for moving money, and each one is engineered for a totally different job. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the people's pipeline. This is the one we all know and use for our daily stuff. And on the other side, the giant's superhighway. This is a whole different beast, built for the massive transactions of the corporate world. So, let's start with the one that's familiar to all of us, the people's pipeline. Right, so first up, we've got the world of retail banking. This is a system that's literally designed for people like you and me. It's for our day-to-day financial lives, individuals, families, small businesses. It's our system. Now, this people's pipeline is all about two things: a huge volume of payments, but each one has a pretty low value. Just think about it. Billions of transactions every single day for things like coffee, groceries, sending a few bucks to a friend. It's a constant flood of small payments. And for this whole system to work, it's gotta be fast. We expect it to be instant, right? Let's put a face to this. Meet Sarah. Her whole financial world runs on this retail pipeline. She gets her paycheck, pays her rent, uses an app to send 50 bucks to a friend, buys her groceries, all of it. It's designed to be super easy, super user-friendly, and to just fit right into the flow of everyday life. Okay, now it's time to switch gears. Let's leave that familiar pipeline behind and merge onto the superhighway. Welcome to the world of commercial banking. This is the high-stakes, high-speed system that most of us never even see. But, and this is a big but, it's what powers the entire global economy. And what's so wild about this system is that it's basically the exact opposite of the retail world. The number of transactions? Way, way lower. But the value of each one? It's astronomical. We're talking hundreds of thousands, millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars. So for this system, it's not about instant speed. It's all about rock-solid security and perfect accuracy. That's why these huge payments are often processed in big, carefully managed batches, instead of just zipping through one at a time. Just to give you a sense of the scale here, forget about buying a coffee. We're talking about a company like TechCorp processing a $15 million payroll, paying $50 million to its suppliers, moving $100 million between its own accounts. That's a day's work. To handle that kind of money, you need a totally different kind of plumbing, right? One that's built from the ground up for massive value and airtight security. All right, so we've met our two players, the pipeline and the superhighway. Now let's put them head to head. This is where you'll really see the jaw-dropping difference in just how they operate. So in our world, the retail world, a typical payment is, maybe 50 bucks for groceries, maybe a couple thousand for rent. These are numbers we get. They're part of our everyday lives. And then you have the commercial superhighway. Wow. The average payment here isn't just a bit bigger. We're talking about an average of $10 million or more. It is exponentially larger, sometimes thousands of times bigger than a retail payment. And that one single fact, that staggering difference in value, changes everything about how these systems are built. And it's not just about the money either. Look at how you interact with them. For us, it's a slick app on our phone. For a corporation, it's an API or a massive file upload directly from their systems. And the risk? It's not even in the same ballpark. If your $5 coffee payment gets declined, it's annoying, right? But if a $50 million payment to a supplier fails, that could grind a global supply chain to a halt. The stakes are just on a whole other level. Okay, so you might be thinking, this is interesting, but why does it matter to me? Well, it matters a lot. Because understanding this split, this duality, is the key to understanding the technology you use every single day and the giant, invisible forces that make our whole economy tick. This split is why your banking app is so smooth and simple. It's built for speed. It's why there's a digital Fort Knox built around corporate payments. Security is everything. And it's the entire foundation that allows huge companies to operate, to pay thousands of employees and suppliers all over the world all at once. There's a great way to sum it all up. Retail needs high volume, low latency processing. Commercial needs high value, high security processing. And that just nails it, doesn't it? It's not one problem with one solution. It's two completely different challenges. One system is built like a sprinter, all about speed. The other is built like an armored truck, all about security. So the next time you tap your card, just take a second and remember what's happening. You're touching two different worlds. The visible pipeline that's all about volume, and that invisible superhighway that's all about value. But here's the thing to think about. As our technology gets better and better, every payment is starting to feel instant and invisible. The lines between these two worlds are starting to blur. And that leaves us with a really big question for the future. As payments become more instant and invisible for everyone, who truly controls the flow?